Today we're introducing the I Love You Guys Foundation's Standard Response Protocol, often called the SRP. The SRP exists for one simple reason. When something goes wrong, people need clear, shared, plain language actions, fast. In emergencies, confusion causes delay. Delay causes harm. The SRP eliminates guesswork by giving staff, students, first responders, and families a common set of actions and a common language regardless of the situation. The SRP is built around 5 protocols. Hold, used to manage movement inside the building for routine or short-term situations. Secure, used when there is a threat outside the building and we need to lock, stay inside, and continue instruction where possible. Lockdown, used when there is a threat inside the building and immediate protection is required. Evacuate, used when it's safer to leave the building than stay inside. Shelter, used for environmental or weather-related hazards when moving is more dangerous than staying put. These protocols exist because one-size-fits-all responses don't work. Different threats require different actions, and those actions must be understood instantly by everyone in the building. The SRP is not a script, it's a decision-making framework that allows schools to respond appropriately to a wide range of incidents: medical emergencies, law enforcement activity, weather events, infrastructure failures, and acts of violence. Across the state of Maryland, the SRP is being adopted and reinforced as a best practice for school safety. Public school systems, private and independent schools, higher education, and public safety partners are aligning around this framework because it works, and because it improves coordination during real incidents. The goal is consistency. No matter what school you're in, no matter what role you have, the words mean the same thing and the actions are predictable. That consistency saves time. And in emergencies, time matters. With that foundation in mind, we're now going to walk through each of the 5 protocols, what they mean, when they're used, and what they look like in practice. Hold. Hold is used when we need to keep the corridors clear of students. It might be a medical emergency, or a hazmat spill in the hallway, or as a means to gain control of the hallways and allow a pause for students transferring classes. A hold may be localized to one area of the school, or it could be for the entire school. It is case-specific. The announcement: hold in your classroom for a situation in the hallway. Hold in your classroom for a situation in the hallway. Students, remain in the classroom until all clear. If they are in the hallway, they should go to their assigned classroom. Otherwise, students, remain in their classroom until the all clear is announced. Teachers, remain in the classroom until all clear. Close and lock the classroom door. Take attendance and note the time, business as usual. What about class changes? You will remain in your class even if the bell rings. If you're in the hallway, public address might be made to go to the nearest classroom, or proceed to your next scheduled class. Is this a lockdown? No, we'll talk more about lockdown in a bit. With the hold protocol, we just don't want what's happening in the hallway to spill into the classroom. Students remain in their seats, continue lessons. Or if lessons are done, students may be given time to read or study. No drama here. Secure is used when there is a threat or hazard outside the building, and the safest place for people inside is to stay inside. Plain and simple. Here's why the secure protocol exists and when it's used: to control access to the building, to keep an external threat from becoming an internal one, to maintain normal operations as much as possible while increasing safety, to reduce panic by avoiding unnecessary movement or escalation. Secure is about locking the perimeter, not shutting the school down. Announcement: secure, get inside, lock outside doors. Secure, get inside, lock outside doors. Why? There is a threat outside of the building. Staff and students should come indoors and not exit the building until deemed safe to do so. Secure is used for situations like police activity in the neighborhood, a suspect fleeing nearby, a dangerous animal in the area, a community incident that has not entered the school. Students, get in the building, go to class, nobody outside. Teacher, bring everyone inside, lock outside doors, increase situational awareness, take attendance, business as usual, nobody in or out. The emergency is outside of the building. Teachers should conduct business as usual. If someone sees that the emergency is developing or whatever is outside is escalating, the teacher should notify the main office and the protocol could change. There is a life cycle during secure. Staff will lock all outside doors, and initially no one is allowed in or out. Depending on the time of the event, a system may be put in place that would allow for proper identification of parents or guardians that may be on site to pick up children before letting them enter. Remember, we only keep students safe. In the absence of the parent, we cannot keep a parent from coming to the school and taking their child home, no matter. The only people that could do that are first responders. Secure can evolve into a controlled release. Depending on the incident, it can eventually be safe to release students to parents. We call that a controlled release. Alternate student exit points may have to be considered to avoid the side of the building that the emergency is on. Special attention must be given to walkers. Walking home may have to be suspended until the emergency is over to keep children from going to or through the area of the emergency. This must be decided case by case. What about class changes? Most of the time it is business as usual. Normal in-building class changes occur. If a school has modular buildings, students and staff may be brought into the main building. This will be decided on a case-to-case basis by the principal and possibly in consultation with first responders and leadership. Lockdown. This protocol should only be used for an active threat inside of the building. Remember, class stops, people hide, anxiety is high. The use of this protocol is rare and for the most serious of events. Lockdown is serious. The announcement? Lockdown. Locks, lights, out of sight. Lockdown. Locks, lights, out of sight. The lifetime of a lockdown is normally 30 minutes or more. Lockdown is used when there is a threat inside the school building. This could be a suspicious or wrong person, a displayed weapon or weapon with a threat, something worse. What should students do? Stay out of sight of the corridor window, sit on the floor and get low, do not open the door, be silent, turn your phone off. And teachers, if you can, sweep the hallway for students that may need shelter, lock and close the classroom door. Rarely has anyone been hurt while in a lockdown behind a locked classroom door. It is our number one defense. A locked door is known as a time barrier. It takes time to get in and slows down the timeline for an aggressor to complete their objective. Note, for those in a cluster classroom or a classroom without a door, if you have an exterior door, evacuate the room and go to a safe location. If you do not have an exterior door, try to go to an area where a door exists that can be locked. If neither of these exist and you are on the first floor and have accessible windows, consider exiting through the windows. If all else fails, hide the best way you can. Turn out the lights. Put students out of sight of the window on the classroom door. You may put a shade over the corridor door window if you cannot get out of sight of the window. Do not mess with exterior shades. Take attendance. You must have questions. What if you're outside? If you're outside and a lockdown is called, do not go back into the building. Rather, go to a safe location. Make sure you notify the school of your location. What if the fire alarm sounds? Stay in the classroom unless you see fire or smoke is filling your classroom. If you must evacuate due to a fire or smoke, the hallway may not be your best option. Evacuate. Evacuating is how to move students in an orderly fashion from point A to point B. You probably have participated in a fire drill. You can initiate the evacuation through use of the fire alarm or the announcement, evacuate out of the building. You could also announce a specific location to evacuate to, for instance, evacuate to the gym. Evacuate to the gym. Students, stay calm and listen. Pay attention to your teacher or adult in charge. Leave belongings behind. Line up quickly and quietly. Form a line with your class as instructed. No pushing, talking, or running. Follow the road if it is safe, even if it's not your usual way out. Stay with your class, stay with your teacher. Go to the assembly area, move to the location your school has planned for emergencies, like a field or another building. Wait for instructions. Once outside, stay quiet and wait for your teacher to take attendance. Don't leave until you're told. No cell phones unless directed. There is another evacuation that you may have to use, self-evacuation. What is self-evacuate? You use it when you see or hear immediate danger, for example, gunshots, explosion, fire, and evacuation is the safest option. Why self-evacuation may be necessary? Emergencies are unpredictable. You may need to act quickly to save your life. There may not be time to wait for instructions. You may be in a location where typical protocols don't apply. Restroom, hallway, outside. You are separated from your class and cannot get to a teacher or group safely. You are in direct danger, and a secure or lockdown response would not protect you. For example, you're near an attacker or fire. If you self-evacuate, move quickly and safely away from the danger. Run, hide, or find help. Use your best judgment. Go to a designated reunification location if you know it, or get to a safe place and call 911. Tell someone, school administrator, police, where you are as soon as you can. Key point: self-evacuation is a last resort decision made when staying puts you at greater risk. Trust your instincts and training. Your safety is the priority. Self-evacuate? Yes. But pay attention to the situation. Do you know where the threat is? Can you see the exit? Is it away from the threat, noise, or commotion? Remember though, a locked door is proven time barrier. Staff, same answer. But don't leave the students. If you do evacuate, where do you go? Go to a predetermined on-site rally area, another school, nearby business, recreational center, other area away from danger. Shelter. What is shelter? Shelter is used when there is a specific hazard that requires you to take protective action inside the building. Examples include severe weather, tornado, hurricane, hazardous material spill, air quality emergency, nearby environmental threat. Listen for instructions. The situation may be very dynamic. Announcement: shelter for a tornado warning, shelter for a tornado warning, or shelter for an earthquake, drop, cover and hold. What to do during a shelter? Always listen for instructions. The type of hazard will determine the shelter strategy. Move to the designated shelter location, interior room, lower level or hallway without windows. Get low, cover your head if instructed, for example. During a tornado, seal doors and windows if told to shelter in place due to a chemical or air quality threat. Stay calm and quiet. Remain in place until you're given the all clear by staff or emergency responders. Your safety strategy is what you do in response to the hazard. Shelter protocols are not one size fits all. The response to a shelter event is dynamic because different hazards require different protective actions. Unlike other SRP actions, like lockdown or evacuate, shelter is flexible and based on the specific threat. You've now seen all 5 standard response protocol actions. They are simple by design because in an emergency, simple works. The goal of the SRP is not to turn staff into first responders. It's to give everyone a common language and a predictable response so confusion is reduced and decisions can be made quickly. These actions apply across different situations, different buildings, and different roles. When everyone uses the same terms and follows the same structure, responses are faster, safer, and more coordinated. If you have questions about how any of these protocols apply in your specific building, classroom, or role, those questions should be directed to your school administration. They can provide guidance that aligns with your local procedures and expectations. The Standard Response Protocol, SRP, poster from the I Love You Guys Foundation, is a visual communication tool designed to reinforce emergency response procedures quickly and clearly for students, staff, and visitors. Its purpose is to standardize language, reduce confusion, and provide immediate reference during emergencies. Your school should provide these, but if they don't, just go to the I Love You Guys Foundation website and you will find the posters as well as other resources available to you for no charge. Where should you post it? Classrooms, near the door or next to the intercom or emergency plan. Hallways and common areas, high traffic spots like cafeterias, gyms, libraries, offices, admin, nurse, and counseling areas. Entrances, exits, for reference during secure or lockdown conditions. This ends the presentation. Thank you for your attention and for your role in keeping our schools safe.